Hello everyone, welcome back to another exciting tutorial. I'm Zuli. Welcome back to my channel. In this tutorial, we're going to learn to build this amazing React website. We're going to be building a furniture website where user can select item of their choice using category, and they can also view the items. So this is the display of all the items we have in stock in our virtual store for this app. So this is basically what we're going to be building. We're going to be working on all of this. So this is basically the website. We have sofas, we have office chairs, we have lights, chandeliers, and this is the footer section right here. So this is the website that we're going to be working on. I'm just trying to show you the design that we'll be working on using React. This is a very simple website, so let's test it. So these are the categories that we have. We have for chair, we have table, bed, office chair, lightning, and sofa. So when you click on the chair category, it's going to display items that belongs to the chair category. If you click on the table category, it's going to do the same thing as well. If you click on the bed category, every item that will be displayed will be a bed. And if we click on the office chair category, it's going to do the same thing. The lightning category, the same, and we have the sofa category. As you can see, this is working perfectly well. So I'm going to, next thing here is let's see, we've checked out the categories. Now let's try to check out the details of each. Okay, so if I click on this, now I'm going to see the details. There's an image, there's description, there's a price tag, there's add to cart button and buy now. So this is everything we're going to be working on in this tutorial. So let's see for tables. This is the same thing. We have the image, the price, and the product details. So this is everything we're going to work on. This is for the category as well. I just clicked on lightning and it has displayed everything that is in the lightning category. So let's check out this office chair. This is what we have now for the details of the office chair. So the next thing we need to check is the responsiveness. This website is fully responsive, as you can see. So I'm just going to reload. So you can see that it's fully responsive. This is the menu section. So if you click on sofa, we have the same thing. It is responsive on mobile view and is working perfectly well on desktop. So this is it. This is what we have now. So I just clicked on table. This is what we have in the table category. For bed is the same thing. And for office chair as well is also the same thing. So everything is working well. So this is what we're going to be building in this tutorial. This is for lightning. As you can see, it's also working well. And this is the sofa. Everything here that will be displayed will be under the category of sofa. So let's get started. So on my Git bash, I just change directory to my desktop, and in my desktop I'm changing my directory to YouTube project because I have a file for YouTube project. And now I'm using this command to create the React website. So npm create vite test, then the website name space template React. So that is what we're going to be using. So now I have to run this code. I'm going to change my directory to the furniture website that I just created. Then I'm going to run this command as well. Then I'm going to use this to open my VS Code. So I'm on my VS Code. First thing I'm going to do is to delete the app.css because I won't be needing it. And I'm going to clean up my app.jsx and use refc. This is a command. For you to use this, you need to have this extension ES7 React Redux extension. If you don't have it, I would advise you to install it so you can use the refc command. I'm also going to clean up this index.css. And here for the whole container of what we're going to be building, I'll set the margin to 0, the padding as well to 0. So the next thing I'm going to do is to open my terminal, and I'm going to run npm run dev. So I'm going to see whatever I'm about to build on my local browser. So this is what we have now. This is what is showing in our app. Then I'm going to open another terminal. First thing I'm going to do is to install React Icon. We're going to be needing React Icon in our project. So copy that and paste it right here. And I'm also going to use React Router DOM. So you're going to copy that as well. And then paste it in your terminal. So while all of that is installing, I'm going to create my data.jsx. So I have my data in my GitHub. So this is my GitHub profile. I'm just going to head over and copy the data.jsx file there. I'm going to provide this actually in the description link. So check the description box for this link. Then I'm going to paste all of this. This is the data we're going to be working with. Then in my asset folder, I've copied all of the images as well. So the first thing I'm going to do now is to create the components folder and the pages folder. In the pages folder, we're going to have home page, and we're also going to have the details page. Okay, I'm going to rename this to product details because this will contain the details page. And the component folder, I'm going to have my navbar. I'm going to have the hero section. So I'll create every other one right now. I created for explore, footer, hero, product context. So in the explore folder, I created explore.jsx file and the css file. So I'm going to import my css file into the explore.jsx. I'm going to do the same thing as well for the footer section. I'll create the gss file and the css file as well. Then I'm going to import the css file for the footer section. So I'm going to pause this video and do for each and every one. So I've created for the navbar section. Now I'm going to start for navbar. So I'm using the nav tag with a class name of navbar, and I'm creating a div tag with a class name of nav logo. It's going to contain the logo of our navigation. Now I'm using an h2 tag to create furniture. I'm going to create a div tag that is going to contain the link, so the class name is going to be link. Then I'm using a UL tag which is going to contain 4 list items. So in the first list, for each list we're going to have a link. For now, our links are not directing us anywhere, so we're just going to use hash. Then the first link is going to take the home, the second link is going to take shop, the third link is going to take about, and the fourth link is going to take contact. So in my index.css, for the link tag, the text decoration, I'm going to set it to none. And for each list item, I'm going to set the list style also to none. And the color of all the list items is going to be black. Now back to our navbar.css. So I'm going to create another div tag for our navigation icon. So we're going to have the cat icon, which I got from this React icon. That's why we installed React icon earlier. And I'm also going to get the user icon. I'm going to give this a class name of cat. I'm going to add the same class name to this. Now let's start styling. So I'm going to copy and paste this in the navbar.css. Because it's a class, I'm going to use dots. So I'm setting the display to flex, justify the content, I'm setting it to space around. I want all the items to be in the center. Then the padding is going to take 1.5 rem. The color of all the text is going to be black. Now I'm going to mount this in my app.jsx. Now let's continue styling. This is what we're trying to build. This is what we currently have now. So I'm going to copy the nav logo, and I want to style the h2 tag. So I'm going to set the font size to 1.5 rem. Now for the link, the list in the link, the list container, I'm going to set the display to flex. The gap between each list item is going to take 1.5 rem. Now I'm going to style each list item. The font size, I'm going to set it to 18 pixels. The font weight is going to take 600, and the color is going to take this color code. Now I'm going to style the hover effect of each list item. I'm setting the color to gold, and the cursor is going to be pointer. Now for the nav icon, the display is going to take flex, and the gap is going to take 15 pixels. Now each icon in the nav icon container, I'm going to set the font size of each icon. I'm going to set it to 26 pixels, and now we have everything intact. Next thing we need to work on is the hero section. I have imported the hero.css. Now I'm going to create a div tag with the class name of hero. Then I'm going to add an image. So we'll be using this hero furniture image. So I'm going to import it here from our asset folder. So the name of the image is herofurniture.jpg. So right here I'm going to use my curly braces to pass the name. I'll give it an alt name of hero image. Then I'm going to create another div tag for hero text, which is the text that will be placed on the hero image. So I used an h2 tag, I created this, and I used a p tag to create this. Then I'm going to create the button for view products. Now our hero section is going to be in our home page, so I'm going to mount the hero component in the home page. So in our app.gss, I'm going to mount the home component itself, which is the home page component. So I'm going to start by styling this hero section. I'm going to set the height of the whole hero container to 60 VH. The margin will take 20 pixels or 2. The padding inline is going to take 100 pixels. Then for the hero image, I'm going to set the width to this value, 1100 pixels. The height is going to take 450 pixels, and the position is going to be relative. So for border radius, it's going to take 20 pixels. Then for the text in the hero section, the position is going to be absolute because I want the text to be on top of the image. Then the margin top is going to take minus 350 pixels. The color is going to take white, and the margin left is going to take 20 pixels. So for the h2 tag in the hero text, the font size is going to take 52 pixels. The color is going to take this color code, and the margin bottom is going to take 15 pixels. For the paragraph tag in the hero text, the font size is going to take 18 pixels. Now for the button in the hero section, margin top is going to take minus 220 pixels. The position is going to be absolute, and the margin left is going to be 20 pixels. Border radius is going to take 30 pixels, and the border will be none. The padding is going to be 14 pixels, this value, and the background color is going to take this color code. So this is what we have now. Now we need to build our Explore product page. So for this Explore, we're going to be using this array of objects in our data.gss. So here I'm going to import the product category list from our data. We're going to be using this, the product name and product icon. That is what we'll be using to select our category. So I've imported all the icons. First thing I'm going to do is to create a div tag for the Explore menu. Then the next thing I'm going to do is to create an h1 tag for Explore our product. And then for the paragraph tag, I'm going to copy and paste this. So I'll be providing this as well. Now I'm going to create a div tag for our menu list. Within this div tag, I'm going to use the curly braces, and within it I'm going to map over the product category list. And I'm going to create an arrow function where I'm going to pass each individual item and the index number. With this, I'm going to return another div tag that is going to take the menu list item. Then I'm going to pass the key, which is going to be the index number. Now I'll create another div tag. Within the div tag, I'm going to have an h2 tag that is going to take the item dot product icon. Then I'm going to create a p tag that is going to take the item dot product name. I'm going to mount this Explore in our home page because we want it to display in the home page. Then I'm going to create this state variable that is going to take category and set category because our explore section is going to work on category. Then I'm going to use this use state to set, and I'm going to pass a string of all. So here I'm going to pass category and set category as props. So I'm passing the category and set category into the explore components in the home page as props. So this is what we have now. This is what we're trying to build. This is what we have. So right here I'm also going to pass the category and set category as well as props. Then in this div tag I'm going to create an onClick function, and within it I'm going to create an arrow function, and I'm going to call this set category function, which is going to update our category state. So here I'm checking the previous state. So I want to check if the previous state is equal to the item, the product name. They want to pass all the states, and if it is not, we want to use item, the product name. Here's the thing, this onClick, the onClick function that I used, I'm using the set category. I'm calling the set category function and I'm passing the previous state, and I used a ternary operator to check if the previous state is equal to the item dot product. If it is, we'll set the state to all, and if it isn't, I will set the state with the product name. Now I've started styling. For the explore menu, I set the display to flex. The flex direction is colon. And now for the H1, the gap I set to 20, margin top is 80. So for the H1 in the explore menu, the color I'm going to set it to black. The font weight is going to take 600. And the margin left is going to take 90 pixels. For the text, I'm going to set the color to this color code. The margin left is going to be 90 pixels and the max width is going to be 60%. For the menu list container, the display here is going to take flex. Justify content to be space between. Align items, I'm going to set to center. Text align will be in center. I want all the text to be in the center. And the margin is going to take this value. Now this is what we have currently. I'm going to start the menu list item itself, each of the list item. So here I'm going to set the display to inline block. The background is going to take this color code. The width is going to take 130 pixels and the height is going to take 130 pixels. Then the border radius is going to take 20 pixels. So this is what we have. Next thing we need to work on is the icon, which we use the H2 tag to wrap. So the margin top is going to take 20 pixels. The font size of each icon is 55 pixels. Cursor here is going to take pointer. Then I'm going to add an HR tag to this explore menu. The height here is going to be 2 pixels. The background color is going to take this value. The margin 10 pixels. Border was going to be set to none. So for this div, I'm going to create a class name, because if I want to check if our category is equal to the item, the product name, I want to style it. So I'm using a ternary operator here. So if our category is equal to the item, the product name, it should show that it's active. So for being active, we're going to style it. So here we're trying to style each active category. So the padding is going to take 2 pixels. The border is going to be 4 pixels solid with this color code. And the border radius is going to take this value. So if any of this is active, this is what we're going to get. Next thing we need to work on is the product list. But before we work on the product list, we need to work on the product context, which we're going to use to manage the product data within the app. So right here I created the create context function and the use state hook. So here I'm creating the product context to use the create context function, the create context hook. Now I'm going to import the product list from data, because that is what we're trying to manage using our product context. So in the product list we have name, price, category, product details. We have several products in this product list, and I have imported all of the images. So the first thing I'm going to do here is to add provider to this. Then I'm going to pass children as props here. Then I'm going to create a state variable for products and a setter function for set product, which is going to update the product using the use state. And we're using the product list right here. So right now we're going to return our product context provider dot provider, and I'm going to pass children here. Then I'm going to assign product to the value. Next thing I'm going to do is to work on the routing system, so it will be easier. I created the route. Remember we installed React Router DOM. So for the first route, the path is going to home page. The slant line represent home page, and the element is going to take our home component. So I'm going to cut this and paste it here. I'm just going to copy this and paste this, so we're not going to retype. So this other route is for our product details that we're going to get access to using the ID. So I'm going to import the product details right here. the page. Also, we used route, so I'm going to import route as well from React Router DOM. Then I'm going to head to the main.gss to wrap our app. So I'm going to wrap our app around this product context provider, and also I'll do the same thing for router. So I'm going to wrap our app around router as well. Then here I'm going to import our product context provider so that we can have access to the data in all the components. Also, I'm going to import our browser router from React Router DOM. Now we can now work on our product list. So the first thing I'm going to do is to import our product context. Then I'm also going to import link component from React Router DOM. Then the product itself, okay. We're going to import the product. The product list is what will be displayed. The product itself is the main product. So now I'm going to create a div tag. Before that, I need to create a variable that is going to store product so that we can access the product using use context hook. We can access the product in our product context using the use context hook. Then I'm going to create a div tag for product, another div tag for product item. Then I'm going to map the product and create an arrow function, and I'll pass in the product. So I'm going to use the if statement to check if our category is equal to this use state, or if the category is equal to the product category. Then I'm going to return a link component. Within the link component, I'm going to wrap the product container, the product itself, the product component within it, and I'm going to pass product data as props. So for the link, the URL is going to point to the product details page. So right here, I'm also going to pass category as props because we're using category to check if. So this is what I mean. The URL is going to point to the product details page. So in our home page, I'm going to mount the product list, and I'm going to pass category as a props as well in the home page. So this is what we have. This is all our products that we have. So if we click on any of it, we're going to see our product details with unique IDs. So as you can see, we have 6 products. So for this product with an ID of 8, the category is stable. That means it's working perfectly well. So the next thing we need to do is to work on the product component itself. I'm going to pass in products here as props as well. Then I'm going to create a variable that is going to take in the image, name, and the price that we're getting from our products. Then I'm going to create a div tag with the class name of item. We're going to have an image tag as well for image, and the alt name is going to be product image. Then I'm going to create another div for product info, which is going to have an h4 tag that is going to take the name. Then I'm going to set the price as well that we're getting from our product. Then I'm going to create another button tag for shop. Just created the product.css now. So I'm going to import our CSS file into the GSX file. So this is everything that we have. We have our image, we have the name of the product, and we have the button. Okay. Because I've not styled it, the images are not looking okay. So let's work on the CSS. So I'm going to start with the product list because that is the main container. So for the product, the class name with product, I'm setting the padding to 60 pixels. It's 5 pixels, and the background color is going to take this color code. So from our product list, we still have product items. I'm also going to style that as well. I'm going to set the display here to grid. The grid template column, I want it to repeat 3. Then the gap, I'm going to set it to 40 pixels. Align item is going to take center. Justify the content, space between. Then we're going to move to the product component itself and start styling each of the product item. The width is going to be 90%, and the background color is going to take this color code. For the border radius is going to take 10 pixels. The border bottom is going to be 4 pixels solid, transparent. And the cursor is going to set a pointer. The box shadow here is going to take this value. With this color code. And then the transition is going to take this value as well. So for the over effect of each item, I'm going to set the box shadow to this value with this color code. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to work on the image of each item. I'm going to set the width of the image to 100%. The height is going to take 240 pixels, and the object fit is going to be cover. The border radius is going to take this value. says 10 pixel on the top right and left side, then 20 pixel on the bottom right and left side. Then I'm going to start the product info, which is going to display flex. Flex direction is going to be colon, and the gap is going to take 14 pixels. Then the padding is going to take this value. Text align is going to be center. I want all the text in the center. And for the H4 tag, the margin bottom is going to take 0.75 rem, and the font weight is going to be 600. The font size is also going to be 1.25 rem. So this is what we have. Then I want the text to be in uppercase, so I'm using text transform to transform it to uppercase. Now I'm going to start the paragraph tag. Display is going to be block. The color is going to take this color code, and the margin bottom is going to take 1 rem. The transition is going to take 0.3 seconds, and the font size is going to be 1.25 rem. Font weight is going to be 600, and what next? The button. So for the button, the font size of the text, I want it to be 16 pixels. Opacity is going to be 0, and I want to translate it on y-axis. I want it to be 1 rem. So when you hover on the item, I want the button to display as an inline block. The background color is going to take this value. The border is going to be none. Color is going to take white. The padding is going to take 1.25 rem and 1.8. Then the font weight is going to be 600. And now on the y-axis is going to be 0. That means it's going to come up when you hover on the item. Opacity is also going to be 1. Then you can now view it. So the transition, I'm going to set it to 0.3 seconds. So this is it. So when you hover on the item, that is what you're going to see. So I'm done with that. Next thing I want to work on is this product details. So from what we're trying to build, this is what our product detail page looks like. As you can see. So the first thing I'm going to do here is to import the product data from our data.gsx. Then I'm going to import use params from React Router DOM. Then here I'm trying to get the product ID. So I'm going to create this ID, and I'm going to use this use params function. Then I'm going to get each product based on the ID. So here I created a variable for product that will hold the product list that we're trying to find here using the ID. And each of the IDs are in integer. Okay. So now I'm going to return this div, and I'm creating another div that is taking a class name of the product details. Then I'm creating another div for the top details. In the top details, we're going to have the left and the right section. And the right section. Remember that then I'm passing an image. Remember that in our product list in the data.jsx we have an ID. So we're trying to access each of the product details using the ID. That is why we used use params here. Okay, so this is the product list. Here we're passing name, we've passed image because we want to say that we use params here, and here we're trying to find each product details based on the ID, so that when you click on any product that we created the other time in the product list, if you click on the link, remember I said that the URL is going to point to the product details page. So each of the product details has unique ID. So here I'm just trying to pass the description of the product detail. I'm using product.product.detail.description because product itself is an array of objects. Then product detail is an object on its own which has description as data. So for shipping, we're going to be using this icon, and I'm going to give it a class name also for truck because it looks like a truck. They use a truck to deliver. That's why we're using this. That's the idea. Then I'm going to create a span tag for free shipping. Our returns. Then here we're going to pass the product details, product detail shipping. So let me reduce this so you're going to see what I'm doing clearly. I created a p tag with the class name of product shipping. I added an icon that is going to show that is shipping, and I used the span tag for free shipping. Then I passed the shipping from the data. I'm going to do the same thing for the delivery. I'm going to add an icon. This is the icon that we're going with, and I'm going to give it the class name of truck as well. Then I'm going to add a span tag because I want to style it later. I'm going to copy this and paste this, but I'm going to change this to delivery because that is our target. Delivery is our target. Then I'm going to create another div tag for star icon. So I'm using this icon here. I'm going to copy this and paste this 4 times, and I'll give every of them a class name of star icon. Then I'm creating another icon for half star. I'm also going to give it a class name of star icon. Next thing I want to do is to create a div tag that will contain the button. So I'm going to have 2 buttons for add to cart and buy now. So this is what we have currently. Next thing I need to do is the description. So I'm going to use an H2 tag. I'm going to write product details as a string, an HR tag, and the next thing is a P tag with a curly braces that will take the product detail, the description. Now let's start styling. I'll start with the product details container itself. The margin top here is going to take 40 pixels. The padding inline is going to take this value, and for the details top, display is going to take flex, gap is 30 pixels. Now for the left details, which contains an image, I'm going to set the width of the image to 60 pixels and the height to 450 pixels, 600 pixels for width. Then object fit is cover. For the right section of the image, the details right, the name, I'm setting the font size to 55 pixels. The margin bottom is 15 pixels. And then we have the price. The font size is going to be 20 pixels and the color is going to take this color code. Now the HR tag, the width is going to be 600 pixels and the height will be 1 pixels. The border, the background color is going to take this color code, and the margin bottom is going to be 15 pixels. Now for shipping, I'm just going to drop this down a little. Right here, I'm going to set the font size to 16 pixels and the margin top is going to be 15 pixels. Remember, we have a class name of truck for the delivery and the shipping, so I'm just going to style the boats here. So I'm styling the icon now, which has a class name of truck. The font size, I want it to be 34 pixels and the margin right to be 10 pixels. The color is going to be black and the margin bottom is going to be this value. Now for the delivery itself, I'm going to set the font size to 16 pixels and then the color is going to have this color code with the margin top of 10 pixels. There's a span tag for both delivery and shipping, so I'm just going to copy and paste this and replace it with span tag. So for the span, I'm going to set the color to black. The font size is going to be 18 pixels and the font weight will be 600. For the icons, the icon container, the display is going to be flex and the gap is going to take 5 pixels. The margin top is going to be 20 pixels and the icon itself, the color is going to take this value, golden rod, and the font size is going to be 20 pixels. Now for the button container, the display is going to be flex, the gap is going to be 10 pixels. Now for each of the button, the padding is going to take this value. Border none, font size 16 pixels, and the font weight is going to be 600. Margin top is going to be 20 pixels, and the border radius is going to be 5 pixels. For the first button, I'm using the end child to access the first button, end child 1. I'm changing the background color to transparent, and the border is 1 pixel solid with this color code. For the hover effect, so when you hover on the first button, the background color is going to change to this color code. So for the second button, I'm going to set the background color to this color code, and the color of the text on the button is going to be white. What else? Now for product description, I'm going to set the margin top to 60 pixels, and the H2 tag and the product description, the font size is going to be 35 pixels. Margin bottom here is going to take 10 pixels. And we're gonna have an HR tag as well, right here. The width is going to be 100%, the height will be 1 pixels. Let's set the background color to this color code, and the margin bottom as well is going to be 15 pixels. Now for the P tag in the product description, the margin bottom will also be 20 pixels. The font size is going to take 10 pixels. So this is what we have, just exactly like this. So I'm just going to copy and paste this. So when you're building yours, you can add more to your product description. Now for the footer section, I'm going to copy this footer from my GitHub page. I'm going to provide the link in the description so that you can have access to it as well. I have all of these images in the asset folder already. So for LinkedIn, for Twitter, and for Facebook, then I'm going to copy the CSS code as well and paste it here. Then on my app.gss, from my local browser, I'm going to render the footer component. So this is it. So now if we compare what we're trying to build with what we have, we can see that when you scroll down, there is this box shadow and a background color that our navigation bar is given, which we don't have right now. So I'm going to check for this. I'm just going to copy this function and paste it in my navbar. I've made a video on this, so you can just check my page for it. So I'm using, from my window, I'm using the event listener to check scroll, and I created a variable that is storing navbar. We're using document or query selector to select the navbar component itself. So if it is active, let me see, for the styling, this is the styling here. I'm just going to paste it right here. So as you can see now, it is working perfectly well. So that's it. So if we check what we're trying to build, it is mobile responsive, but what we currently have now is not mobile responsive. So let's work on the responsiveness.